Donald and Douglas are Scottish twin engines. They're practical, peppery, and proud. They nearly always work together. One day, Donald and Douglas were chuffing through the countryside, hauling a heavy load.
The Teletubbies were chuffing too.
Down the line, Trevor the traction engine had been struggling with a big cartload of hay. Crossing the tracks, the cart's wheels had broken off.
There was a cart without wheels.
Then Trevor heard a whistle.
"Watch out!" shouted Trevor.
It was holiday time on the island of Sodor.
Thomas was pulling Annie and Clever. Scar Lily was pulling coaches. James was pulling Peterson was pulling coaches too.
Why should a splendid engine like me take messy coal cars instead of coaches? Percy or Oliver should do it. I'm too important. Thomas was cross. James, why don't you think about something or someone else for a change? You'll be surprised at how much better you'll feel if you do. Oh, please. Being important is the only thing for me to think about. Huh.
Tarmoff was pulling the freight.
That plane's making a great deal of noise, said Percy to Oliver.
His name is Tarmoff, shouted Oliver.
And it's flying around telling everyone about the fair that's arriving today.
Tonight.
What are you two doing here? Sir Topham Hatt wants us to pick up a very special load from the harbor.
The Teletubbies saw the cart too. Donald's driving as a bunch of brakes.
Luckily, no one was hurt. Stop being pushy, Donald snapped. Don't call me pushy, Douglas snapped back. You shouldn't have pushed me into the cart, huffed Donald. You pulled me, you mean, argued Douglas. Didn't. Did.
Did not. Did too.
And I think it's got something to do with the fair. Then they puffed away.
Duck puffed away too.
Meanwhile, James was collecting quarry cars from the yard.
Duck was collecting quarry cars too.
And dustier, he grumbled. Then he saw Mrs. Kindly. She looks miserable.
That
What's
owl
the matter,
girl
asked James Driver.
is
My
too
sister is
sad.
tell me she can't come to stay with me. I was so looking forward to her visit.
No more plans to try to tease Sadie, said Tom Hat.
We must cheer her up. Send Harold the helicopter to pick her up immediately.
Be careful, Harold, said Donald and Douglas.
A few minutes later, there was a surprise for Mrs. Kindly. All present and correct, called Harold. I'm here on a flying visit. Hurry aboard, Mrs. Kindly, and fly the sky with me.
Nice to see you again, James, said Harold.
Of Sir Topham Hatt. Oh, how lovely.
You are making my ink dustier than ever, Harold, muttered James.
But he was happy for Mrs. Kindly. She was soon flying high with Harold. I've never seen the island like this before. It's wonderful.
You haven't seen a piano like this yet.
Meanwhile,
said
Percy and Oliver were at the docks.
Duck was at the docks too.
Cranky the crane was unloading an old tramp steamer. Hey down there, you two. I'm playing Lucky Dip in the Tramper's Hold, and all these are for you. Wooden horses, Percy exclaimed. For the carousel ride. It's going to be a very exciting fair. It is indeed, whistled James. Before long, the track was cleared, and Donald and Douglas were on their way.
The Teletubbies were on their way too.
The twins were so cross they refused to speak to each other for the rest
Sir
of the day.
Topham Hatt was so cross too.
The next day, Sir Topham Hatt needed an engine to help Duck at the smelter's yards. May I go, sir? Said Donald eagerly. I only need one engine, said Sir Topham Hatt, not two.
I am only one agent, sir, shouted Donald. I'd like to work with Duck right now.
Sir Topham Hatt was surprised, but agreed. Thomas was worried.
James was worried
Miss
too.
one another, he asked.
Henry was worried
I know
too.
I'd miss Annie and Clarabelle.
My own Thomas sniffed Douglas. I have work to do, Douglas, huffed Donald.
At first, Donald enjoyed working with Duck.
Henry enjoyed working with Duck too.
Then things started to go wrong.
Did you jump those red cars and onto the other line? Duck asked Donald. Other line, answered Duck. Not other line, the other same line. Not this time.
Sir Topham Hatt has ordered me to stop pulling coal cars and go to the station instead. Something to do with Mrs. Kindly. Goodbye. Well, what do you think of that? Cried Percy. Mrs. Kindly was waiting for James with Sir Topham Hatt.
And James was pulling.
Now this is your very special treat. James will take you on a mystery ride, and I shall meet you at your destination. James took Mrs. Kindly along her favorite coastal route to Tidmouth Bay.
The Teletubbies came to Tidmouth Bay
When he
too.
arrived there, a big surprise awaited Mrs. Kindly. "Oh," she cried, "you've brought me to the fairground. How lovely!" Best of all, Sir Topham Hatt invited her to make the announcement. Donald was cross. Douglas would have known what it meant. He huffed. Douglas was working on his
Henry
own.
was working on his own too.
He chuffed dutifully through the beautiful countryside.
Henry chuffed beautifully too.
But Douglas had no one to share it with. Although he tried,
The mounted windmill, shouted
beginning to
Donald.
miss his twin. That night, Douglas's driver took him to visit Donald. "I was just passing," said Douglas. "Have you come to say you're sorry?" Donald snapped. This made Douglas very cross. "I declare this fairground open." Mrs. Kindly had the first ride on the
The
carousel.
Teletubbies had the first ride on the carousel too.
"You were quite right, Thomas," James whispered. "Making someone happy does cheer you up." Then together they watched the fun of the fair.
The Teletubbies watched the fun of the fair too. Sir Topham Hatt was taking a carousel.
"I've nothing to be sorry for," he said, and steamed away in a huff.
Duck steamed in away in a huff too.
The next day, Donald was in a bad mood. Duck could see he was getting too close to the buffers.
Watch out! Shouted Duck to Donald. It was too late. Naughty Voodoo! Shouted the Teletubbies.
Donald's
Then
driver was very cross. "This wouldn't have happened if you were working with Douglas," he said. Donald knew he was right, and Duck knew he couldn't pull Donald back onto the rails. So he went for help.
The Teletubbies went for help
was
too.
sadly finishing his work as Duck steamed into the depot.
Donald is in trouble, said Duck. Baldwin's in trouble, shouted Douglas. I'm on my way right now.
And he steamed off as fast as he could.
Nunu was clearing the mess. Thomas was clearing the mess too.
Nana's balls.
Watch out! Shouted Thomas.
Dipsy's hat.
Nunu is so naughty right now, said Sir Thomas.
Tinky Winky.
Sir Thomas is young naughty Nunu, said Thomas. Naughty Nunu, shouted the Teletubbies. Naughty Nunu, shouted the Teletubbies to the other engines. Must more in the yard, shouted Jonathan Douglas. Yes, but how? Shouted Duck. Naughty Nunu, shouted Sir Thomas. Naughty Nunu, shouted the Teletubbies. Be careful, Donald, said Douglas. Don't go faster than me.
Douglas struggled and struggled. He finally pulled his twin gently back
Carefully.
on the tracks.
Donald and Douglas are twins, aren't they? Asked Duck.
Donald wasn't hurt.
Thank you, shouted Donald.
Said, and I'm sorry.
I'm not sorry. No, I'm sorry.
said Douglas.
I'm sorry too. I'm not sorry.
Mr. Donald. Don't argue about who's sorry, chuckled Duck. Just be glad you're back together.
Donald and Douglas are now good friends.